All the water on Earth today is all the water that has ever experienced the planet. Fresh water is a really long period of time old, the very water that is streaming in a non-stop circle, tumbling from the rain and snow from mist on the world's surface, running in the waterway, moving from faucets, inundating crops, going through plants, generating power, at last dissipating into the air and gathering into mist once more. For what reason is there life on Earth? What's more, the explanation is it has an ideal water cycle. The water cycle shows the persistent development of water inside the Earth and environment. The water cycle describes how water evaporates from the surface of the Earth, rises into the atmosphere, cools and condenses into rain or snow in clouds, and falls again in the surface as precipitation. The water falling on the land collects in rivers and lakes, soil and porous layers of rock, and much of it flows back into the ocean, where it all once more evaporates. The cycling of water in and out of the atmosphere is a significant aspect of weather patterns on Earth.
In every beautiful place, there will always be one species that will bring harm. Invasive alien species are hard to eliminate, control, or manage, like a pest that requires a science-based solution. In the Philippines, invasive alien species like the water hyacinth are slowly jeopardizing one ecosystem at a time, including the Pasig River, Laguna de Bay, and Agusan Marsh, undermining their productivity. Worse, invasive alien species are considered a major driver of biodiversity loss, as they tend to compete and displace native species and cause ecological imbalance. Besides causing flooding, water hyacinth affects the mobility of people traveling via boats, including fishes whose livelihoods are severely affected by its adverse environmental impact. In addition to that, water hyacinth can completely cover lakes and wetlands, outcompeting native aquatic species, reducing oxygen levels for fish, and creating ideal habitat for disease-carrying mosquitoes.
Anthropogenic activities have resulted in the partitioning of water between that stored on the continents and in the ocean, leading to changes in sea level. So the impoundment of water in continental reservoir also affects water quality and the time it takes to run off to reach the ocean. So example of human activities that can impact the water cycle: aquifer mining, surface water diversion, and changes in internally draining lake volumes. Second, desertification, drying of marginal soils due to overgrazing and other intensive land use. Semi-arid soils leads to a net loss of soil water storage, reduced evaporation, and increased storm runoff. Third, wetland drainage. Wetlands contain standing water, soil moisture, and water in plants. When wetlands are drained, much of this water storage will be lost from the system. 4. Deforestation. Forests store water in both living tissue and soils. When a forest is cut or burned, the vascular water is released and the biomass reverts to water and carbon dioxide. And last, the dam building. Dams are constructed for a variety of purposes, but they all result in the trapping of fresh water runoff on the continental landmass. There is an additional but poorly quantified loss of surface runoff to groundwaters associated with impoundment, which results in an increase in the storage of continental water. Furthermore, the substantial amounts of river flow can be transferred instead into evaporation from reservoir, thus altering the overall water budget of drainage basins.
As periods evolve, growth in demands are inevitable. At these occurrences, what we ask from Mother Earth exceeds from what she can provide. A concrete phenomenon related is water stress, also known as water scarcity. This environmental crisis is caused by abnormal weather pattern alteration, pollution, overpopulation, and overconsumption. As a result, domino effect in water-dependent species takes place. Naming a few, we have decreased photosynthesis on plants, weakened immune system on animals, lack of agricultural irrigation, and dehydration on humans. To avoid this deficit, we may impose water usage regulations, recycle wastewater, harvest rainwater, and reinforce conservation technologies. Yet, most of all, we must exemplify environmental concern in the thought.
Epigenetics, that means above genetics, is a process where the genetic information is being read by ourselves. Our cells are responsible to whether or not it is necessary to express a piece of specific genetic information, an activation or silencing via an epigenetic mechanism. It is the study of how the environment and your behavior can cause changes in how the genes work. It does not change the DNA sequence itself, but it can change how the body reads a DNA sequence, from environmental influences to certain choices. By applying it to our topic, we can observe it in, of course, aquatic animals, which will lead us to our sample of epigenetics. A parent fish that was placed in a higher temperature water does not change the basic genetic code that they pass on their fry, but rather it influences which genetic information is being reproduced. The environmental factor that could create epigenetic changes, which are likely related to the biological invasion process.
With this all in mind, now begs the question of what is the relevance of all of this? Why are we discussing this in the first place? So what? All of this matter because if the water cycle continues to be harmed, we are the first ones who will feel the impact, and such impacts are beyond detrimental. It is our duty to take care of our planet because obviously there is no planet B. The planet can survive without us, but we can never survive without Earth. So in a way, we are in huge debt to our environment. Hence, we urge you to be an advocate of the Sustainable Development Goals. We must be proponents for the life below water and push for the availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation. To conclude, we hope that we somehow got across you. These issues are too complex to be solved by just a policy or two. But if we act now, we can make progress. After all, a small action can be the building block of a grander future.